goal of this class is just to get you moving, right? Movement is medicine. It's medicine for both you and the baby. So by the end of this class, you should feel the blood flowing to various joints in your body. You'll feel more space. And then we'll end the practice with a peaceful Shavasana. So I also want you to feel very peaceful by the end of this practice. If it is your first class though, take it easy. There may be some things that don't feel good in your body. There may be some positions that it's your first time into them. So you're just like, am I doing this right? Make sure you stay with your breath. That's the most important thing. And if there's anything that bothers baby, then you'll ignore me. Listen to the wisdom of your baby and listen to the wisdom of your body. I've got a few props here, which do what you can with what you have at home, but if you do have any of these, bring them along. What you're gonna need is a blanket. You could also use a nice thick towel from your bathroom, okay? And we're actually gonna start seated on this blanket, and I'll just fold it up so it's nice and thick. I also have 2 blocks here, and if you don't have those, don't worry about it. And I have a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you could also use a nice long pillow, or you could even stack up a couple of blankets. So let's get started. We'll start seated, cross-legged. I've got this blanket right underneath my seat. I'm gonna just cross the shins and sit up tall. When you are pregnant, you've got more stuff going on than the normal human being, right? And there's this baby that's getting bigger and your belly's getting bigger. So when you sit without the blanket, I'll show, sometimes the knees come up like this and everything gets tighter. With the baby, we want to make more space. So by sitting up on a prop, you have more space, knees are able to drop, and you feel the energy moving down from hips to knees. So let's start here. So raise your arms overhead, interlace your fingers to the webbing, flip the palms up to face your sky, your ceiling, and then root down through your sitting bones and just feel yourself reach up tall. You can even walk your ribs up like your ribs are walking up a ladder. Make more space. Right fingertips will come down to the ground. Spin your left pinky into your face. You get external rotation in your arm and start to reach up and over. This right hand can come down, and what you're gonna do is push into the floor so that the left side of your ribs and waist begins to bow, and then just reach. This usually feels so good because, like I said, things are getting crowded in your body. So any way we can make more space is gonna feel good. Same thing to the other side. Left fingertips down, right hand up, spin the pinky in. That'll give you more room to reach. Use the left hand, press down, and it's almost like you're pushing your floor away. And then reach. Take a nice deep breath in to the right side of your waist, and then come back up to center. We'll reach both arms out to the side, palms down, and let's flex at the wrist so the fingers go straight up to the ceiling. And push, almost like the 2 sides of your room are coming into you and you're pushing them away. Stretch through all 10 of your fingertips. So another phenomenon when you're pregnant is that you've just got a lot more fluid. It can just feel a little funky. It can feel strange because you've got this extra fluid. The more we move the joints, the more the fluid is able to move around. Now make fist, and you're going to extend your wrist and pull the fist into your forearms, right? And you'll feel a really nice stretch down the front of your wrist. Stay with this, keep pulling it in. Might be sensational, I'll say. And then we'll start to circle the wrist. Keep the fist. Try not to circle the whole arm. Keep the upper arm still, and you're just circling the wrist. Reverse your circles so that they go the other way. One more circle. Reach the arms out, take a breath in, and then relax the arms down. Relax all of that out of your shoulders, your necks, and then we'll transition to the next pose. So we'll come onto our hands and knees. I like a blanket underneath my knees, so what you can do is open the blanket up so it's flat. Make sure you smooth it out, and then you'll bring your knees, your hands here. We'll take a few rounds of cow and cat. Inhale, cow back, look up. Exhale, cat back, round. Do that 3 more times. Inhale and exhale. So cat and cow, especially if you are regular to the practice of yoga, will feel different as you get bigger. You won't have as much room to do this flexion and extension in the spine, but it's still really valuable for the spine for you to do it. Movement is medicine, so we want to keep moving. If your wrist ever bother you, try this variation. Come down onto your forearms. Even if your wrists don't bother you, just try it. And then you can do cat and cow here. Like I said, there can be a lot more fluid in the wrist. Sometimes you even get a bit of carpal tunnel. And so this can be a way to take this off of your wrist. From here, let's make some circles. So circle right, forward, left, and back. Widen your knees if you need. I need to because my belly's big. Good, do 2 more circles in this direction. And then you'll switch and go in the other direction. Circles just feel really good when you're pregnant. And it's also this rocking motion that feels good for both you and the baby. And it's the same rocking motion that you're gonna take when the baby is out of your womb and you're holding it, you're rocking the baby. Come back to all fours. You can do that same rocking motion here. And this is just, can be like a breakout pose. Anytime during the day that you're feeling stuck, yeah, just come down to all fours and do some rocking motion. Let's pause with the motion, bring your blocks into play. They're gonna be on their flattest levels. Okay, spread your fingers nice and wide onto the bricks and slip the wrist of your hands so that the edges is slightly off the edge of the brick. What we'll do is tuck the toes, we'll lift into downward facing dog. Hips go up and back. And with the heels of my hands slightly off the brick, I can really push down into the bricks so that my hips can go up and back. Please bend the knees, especially if you've got tighter hamstrings. Let your head hang, move your heart to your thighs. This is an inversion, so it does not always feel good, especially if you're in your first trimester invert. You got this feeling of nausea that's going through your body all the time, so inversions just are not the place to be. So if this does not feel good, you will omit it. But if it does, stay with it. 1 more breath. Good, and then from here, you'll walk your blocks back to your feet. So you're at the back of your mat, turn the toes out, sit your butt down, and we'll come into what's called Malasana. Option to put the block underneath your seat. Sometimes that's just easier on the knees. You could even put 2 blocks if your knees are tender, okay? Hands to heart center, use the elbows to press away, lift your chest. This is the squatting pose, right? For many cultures, this is exactly the way women give birth, right here. So it's really getting your baby in the right spot for that wonderful time when it's gonna come out. Take an inhale and an exhale. Good. 1 more breath. Inhale. On the exhale, I want you to stand up. So press down through your feet. You'll lift your hips off the block, move that block off to the side, and stand all the way up. Good. From here, turn your toes forward. Circle the arms up to the sky. Take a breath in, and then fold forward over your legs, breath out. You can move your blocks and the blanket off to the side, and we'll go through a sun salutation. Walk forward to downward facing dog. You were here already just with the blocks. From here, glide forward to plank. Wiggle the feet back, drop your bum down. Drop your knees. We're gonna take 3 chaturanga push-ups, modified. So lower, chin down towards the floor. Press the floor away, lift back up. 2 more, lower and lift. Good, 1 more. You're gonna need strong arms to carry this heavy baby around. Lift. And then from here, we'll go to cow back. So a little back bend, look up, and back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in, breath out. Walk your hands back to your feet. Bend your knees to do that, wide stance. Good, and then from here, turn the toes out, sit back down to that Malasana squat. Inhale, exhale. Next exhale to stand, inhale. Press down to lift up. Toes forward, circle the arms up, breath in. We'll do it 1 more round. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, peek forward. Walk to the edge of your mat. Down dog. Come forward, plank. Drop your knees. Notice my weight's still forward, so I got a nice long diagonal line from head to tail. And then we'll take those push-ups, lower and lift. Use your breath, inhale to lower. Exhale, press away. Keep hugging your elbows in as you lower. And lift. Inhale, cow back, look up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and take a breath out. Good, come down to your knees, take a rest, and we'll come to a seated position and we'll do 1 more pose together. So we'll employ the blanket again. I'm double folding mine, so I just got a nice big cushion. And then we'll come to sit with the soles of the feet together. So this is called Badakanasana, a bound angle. You're binding the angle with the soles of your feet. You can always move your feet forward if it feels too tight. And again, this prop underneath your hips allows you to give more space to baby. You're gonna grab your feet And we'll go back to the circles. So circle your whole torso forward. This usually feels really good. It just feels good on the sitting bones. Like I said, this rocking motion the baby usually likes. Switch, going the other direction. One more. Good. And then come back to center. From here, we'll just cross the shins, come to a comfortable seat, place hands at your belly any way you like, close the eyes, and just take 3 breaths in and out. Settle in, acknowledge the work you did, connecting with this human that is growing inside of your belly in the most miraculous way. And then blink the eyes, release the hands. So I'll set you up for a Shavasana, and then I'll leave you there. And you can stay there as long as you want. So this is when we'll use our bolster. You can slip the blanket just off to the side. We'll use our 2 blocks, set them up. So the blocks can go low, medium, or high. We'll do 1 high. We'll take the bolster, and then we'll lay the bolster along the blocks. And actually, I'm gonna take this one to its lowest setting. It just seems a little better so that the bolster can lay here, right? And you can use the blanket for warmth over you. You could also use the blanket as an extra pillow at the top of your mat. So bring your tailbone all the way up to the bolster. Feet will be flat. And then just take a test run, lay back. Make sure that you feel good, right? Notice if you need to lower the bolster. Usually we want to be a little higher so we're not flat on the ground. And then from here, what we'll do is we'll just extend the legs out. You can also keep the knees bent and let them knock in, right? Any way that feels good for you. If you do have that blanket for warmth, you can place it over you. Arms can go out to the side. Find the right spot for your arms. Make sure your head's on straight. And this should feel good. If it doesn't, you can always adjust. So much of pregnancy is just connecting with how you feel and honoring how you feel, even if it's way different than you've ever felt before. Making peace with what is, what's happening, what's growing. Know that there's value to slowing down. There's value in stopping completely. Just soak in this time with just you and baby. Like I said, I want you to stay and enjoy this space of Shavasana as long as you can. Thank you so much, though, for joining me. My name is Ivorie. Namaste.